Brook, Janet Street-Porter and Brenda Edwin. Right, still to come, a suit for all occasions and a blouse fit for royalty. We'll be letting you in on the sentimental stories and cost-saving secrets about all of our outfits today. And Janet's had more marriages by herself than the rest of us tallied up. But should you ever judge someone on their relationship history? She knows I love her, it's fine. Now, today's panel may fancy themselves as green-fingered, especially Janet and Brenda, who are amazing. Now, who remembers Tomato Wars? Here's a recap.
Well, a few weeks ago, I told Brenda that I was growing tomatoes.
That is a fact. I was in the room at the time.
I grow tomatoes every year, Brenda, not just like you this year.
Planted mine from seed.
Those are mine. Those are my tomatoes.
Here we go.
Those are yours.
Those are mine.
Would you like to reveal how well your tomatoes are going? Janet. Oh, beautiful. Brenda?
Brenda!
What have I done?
You are a complete charlatan. Look what I found earlier.
Saying it says don't chase the competition, chase the dream, and my dream is that they will be looking like this. Just like a friendly rivalry right beside Janet and Brenda when it comes to gardening. Today's guest is the man in the know. Joe Clark has millions of... There we go. Joe has millions of followers online, and not only is he helping to save the planet with his gardening know-how, but can save you thousands of pounds too. So for Earth Day, Joe's going to talk us through how we can do it correctly. Is that right, Joe?
Yes, hopefully. Thank you for having me.
That's all right. And it's these two you've got to worry about.
I'm one of your million followers.
Yes,
Thank you.
Brenda's been following you for ages and been telling us all about your top tips. Now, of course, we're talking about, you know, it's World Earth Days. It's all about being eco-friendly. And for the first time today, I heard about No Mow May,
Yes.
which I've never heard of before. What is that?
So No Mow May is essentially an initiative to keep your lawnmower in its shed or the garage. And the idea behind it is to give your lawn a bit of a break, especially at this time of the year. So this time of the year in the garden, there's a little bit of a gap for the pollinators. So by leaving your lawnmower in the shed, you let some of the natural flowers that could be in your lawn come through, such as clovers, daisy, dandelions, which then the bees, which really need our help at the moment, they have something to come, land on and feed on. But also it can act as, by letting your lawn grow up a little bit, it acts as almost a natural highway for the mini beasts and the positive insects that you want in the garden to navigate through the garden without fear of birds swooping down and seeing them immediately.
What about slugs?
Come along. Toads, don't you, for slugs? Don't you bring some toads in?
Yeah, so amphibians, so frogs will deal with slugs slightly better than toads. Toads, like ants, they will eat slugs, but amphibians are a fantastic way to keep your slug...
So we need a pond, don't we, really?
Well, or a washing up bowl or something like that.
Yes. So one of the most viral things that I did online, and people are really fascinated by it at the moment, is we took the water container out of our loft and we put a new one in. So I had this sort of old water container, and I thought, wow, why not bury it in the garden? So just...
Oh, so like your I don't know, your boiler tank thing.
Yes, exactly.
That's a good idea.
And the deeper it is, the better, just so if something like a heron wants to come along, they've got somewhere to go down and hide. What shocked me is just how quickly the amphibians moved in. So within...
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so it took sort of 2 months before we had about 6 frogs. And this year, we've got frog spawn and toad spawn. Really simple way to tell the difference. Frog spawn is what we all know and love. We see it all the time, the little collective group of spawn.
Yeah.
And toads sort of have long trailing spawn, both very welcome in my garden. And now we've got tadpoles and we're documenting it online and people are really, really fascinated by it.
I reckon that would work quite well in your garden, Janet, because you grow so much stuff in yours.
Yeah, but my house is actually by a river, but it's very fast-moving.
Yeah.
It's probably too fast-moving for frogs and anything to get out of it.
Yes.
In fact, when I occasionally get in it, I tie myself to the bank. But I applaud the No Mow May moles. Where do you stand on moles, though?
I have a soft spot for moles.
But they dig up the lawn.
They do dig up the lawn. However, molehills are fantastic potting soil because they've loosened it up and broken it up for you. So if you're sowing your seeds, turn a negative into a positive, scoop some up. I do have a soft spot for them. I know a lot of gardeners don't.
Yeah.
But luckily, touch wood, they've not been too much of an issue on my lawn, but I don't have much of a lawn. I've got a little bit of a green space where we can sit and have a barbecue. The rest is all put to use for sorts of vegetables.
Now, Brenda and I are champing at the bit to get you talking about vegetables because we still totally competitive at this end of...
Well, yeah, I mean, I've recently... I don't have... the no May wouldn't apply to me because I'm allergic to grass, so I actually laid fake turf on my grass, but there are dandelions popping up where I didn't do the seams properly. But anyway, I will go back and do that. But in my beds, I've got herbs, all the herbs that I use, like my thyme, my basil, my lavender, my rosemary, they're all growing as normal plants in my garden, and now I've got a little balcony which I put my tomatoes.
Oh, is this it?
That's my spring onions. That's in my bedroom, just at the window.
Amazing.
My electric propagator. But I've finally started to get some spring onions and some peppers are coming, Janet. I'm coming for you.
So,
Stop,
Joe,
because Janet was saying it's harder to grow by seed, but I find it quite.
I was saying to Brenda that I applaud her efforts, but of course I'm growing outside in Norfolk. I don't have a greenhouse. I have a very small coal frame that I made from a wrecked greenhouse. We just made a tiny green. So outside at the moment, I have got endive, which is these are my broad beans.
Oh, amazing!
That I planted out.
So with the stuff that Janet's growing, God, that's
That's
amazing.
endive.
You've got space for that.
Well,
Janet. If you've got a smaller environment, like, I don't know, a little yard out the front or a balcony, like Brenda's
Those are my
got.
onions.
Is this stuff possible?
Yeah, definitely. So with modern varieties, there's sort of dwarf varieties for most crops now. So you can get very small apple trees, sort of 5-6 foot, which would be more than happy in a pot. And a small sort of 5-foot apple tree will produce a decent harvest, sort of 10 to 15 apples.
What are the easiest things to grow? I mean, I tried to grow those little Chantenay carrots one year, and they were literally just, like, no bigger than my thumb. They were
So sometimes carrots...
There they are.
That's not a bad harvest.
I got so many. I had so many, but they were tiny.
What you could do with those carrots, actually, so you've got amazing foliage at the top.
Yeah.
It makes amazing pesto as a basil substitute. So
good.
essentially follow a generic pesto recipe, but use your carrot tops and radish tops as well for a bit of a fiery kick, and it's absolutely delicious.
It's a really good
So
idea.
I mean, in terms of like reusing stuff, I've heard that those pots of herbs that you buy from the supermarket, we can actually grow herbs from that.
Yes, so anybody who's bought basil from the supermarket, it's probably suffered the fate that it usually suffers, which is you put it on your windowsill, get a couple of harvests and it dies back. That's not your fault, so please don't be disheartened. It's the way it's grown. It's designed to grow up really fast with quite a weak root system. So what you can do is break it apart. So pop it out of its pot, gently break it apart. So you're separating out little clusters. Because what each little... you can see on the screen. So what each little stem is actually its own individual... So each stem has the potential to be its own bush. So basil can grow into quite a large bush. So by separating it out, you're giving it more room to grow, getting it in some good compost. Also, basil is really simple to propagate. So where the stem is, you can, where there'll be 2 leaves coming off either side, instead of just plucking off each individual leaf from your basil, take a cutting, and then where you've taken a cutting, it will develop 2 shoots, and that's how you get it to bush out and become more of a established plant. And then if you want to get a bit fancy, you can pop that cutting in water, give it about 2 weeks, it will root, pop it on, you've got a whole new basil plant.
I now just want to like grow stuff with the kids now, Joe. And if you also want to grow stuff, your book is out, Garden to Save the World, with lots of top tips if you're interested in stuff that Joe had to say. Joe, you've been absolutely brilliant. I know these two could just chat to you for hours. And I know that you're meeting the King next week, so you're filming with the King next week, and so we wish you the best of luck with that.
Yeah, so in May.
And honestly, we are looking forward to all gardening to save the world. Well, Joe, thanks very much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Right, still to come, find out what we have in common, talking of royalty, with Queen Camilla and Kate Blanchett when it comes to fashion. And they've had their fair share of past relationships. Now, Elizabeth Hurley and Billy Ray Cyrus appear to have found each other. So what does your dating history say about you? We'll be chatting about that next.